This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 4 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Canes memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
When it comes to selling your home, efficiency is the best way, the less stress way. That's why Asmani Garcia and the Omega Home Realty Group is who you want to call. Sell your home for just $990. That's right, $990. No 6% commission. Asmani and Omega are the exclusive program director for just $990 in South Florida. Get full service real estate services like pro photos, beautiful brochures, Zillow and Alex, Realtor.com and Homes.com listings. Call Asmani to find out more at 305-440-1990. Scan the QR code or visit just990.com to get started. Omega Home Realty Group and Asmani Garcia are ready to present your home to thousands of prospective buyers. Call 305-440-1990. Call Asmani Garcia and tell him Big O sent you.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Good morning, boys and girls. We are rocking and rolling on a beautiful Friday from, of course, Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Right here at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines, and I can see the fleet of ZDXs right in front of me where you could get electrified. So come on out. We'll be out here having some fun. We've got David Furones stopping by. We've got Manny Navarro stopping by. So we'll talk a little Dolphins. We talk a little Miami Hurricanes. We got all kinds of stuff. Got a great finish to Reacher last night. I am not going to say anything whatsoever. Season 3 was the best season of Reacher. That's all I can say. Not going to give you any spoilers. Not going to do anything. But they finished season 3 yesterday. Great finish. And the best season. You know, I thought season 2 is the worst season out of the 3, actually. I thought season 2 was all right. Season 1 was excellent. And season 3 beat season 1. And it's hard. And so, really good. It was really, really good. But I'm not going to say anything else. So, anyway. So, we got all of that going on. You know, we got that stuff going on. So, I like it. I don't know if any of you saw a little Reacher action yesterday or if you're watching. So, anyway. What else do we have? We got some stuff. We got the Heat last night. I like that. Remember, we talked about it yesterday. Make the Golden State game count. Finish the season strong, dude. Get a spine. Find an identity. This team has no identity because they've always been led by somebody else. So that somebody else is gone. Somebody's got to step up. And last night, Hero with a super efficient game. Bam doing his thing. He didn't score a ton, but he played across the board like he always does. Wiggins, Davion Mitchell. I mean, guys made plays. Alec Burks. Guys made plays. That was really, really cool. You know, and what I loved about the game yesterday was there was a shit ton of adversity. They start the game in a hole. And you're like, damn, dude, come on, guys. You know, but then they answer back by the end of the half. We're at a draw. And then in the second half, they take over. And that was really cool. And then they made runs on them because they were up by like 22 points and they cut it to like 8 or something, you know, and then they answered back and then they cut it again and then they answered back. And I love that they were able to also overcome the adversity in the game. Okay. And it's a team that's playing better than you, right? They're 35-38. And they're above you in this race here. You know, I don't know how much you're going to climb or whatever, but finish strong. Shit, man. You're at Philly on Saturday and then at Washington on Monday. Then you got the Boston Celtics on Wednesday at Boston. That's going to be a really tough one. But either way, you should make this 5 in a row. You should beat Philadelphia. You should beat Washington. and finish the damn season strong. And then get your ass out of the play-in. And, whatever happens with Cleveland, like I told Ira, if you can steal a game or two, that's how you end this season on a massive high. Look, in the end, I'm not telling you this team is turning the corner. I'm not telling you they're going to be special. I'm none of that shit. Okay? I'm just telling you, play respectable basketball. Grow the hell up. Drop the BBs. And that's what I've been seeing the last 3 games. I've been watching them actually play as a team. I've been watching guys step up in key moments to make big plays. Guys are taking turns when to take over. I love it. So just play like that, man. Nobody's expecting a championship. Nobody with a brain, at least. Nobody's expecting you to make some deep run. Nobody with a brain, at least. But we want you to play a hell of a lot better than what you did over the last, month where you lost 10 in a row, dude. Are you kidding me? And how you've played overall throughout the season with no spine and getting pushed around and all that. You're not doing that now. You're not getting pushed around. You're making big shots. You're responding. I just think it's enormous, dude. What I saw last night and what I've watched in the last 3 games. It's not the team that I'm used to watching, to be quite honest. So to me, that was refreshing to watch what I saw last night, what I saw the game before that, and the game before that. Because this is my favorite 3-game stretch of the 2024-2025 season for the Miami Heat. I don't know about you, but for me, this is my favorite part of the entire season. Because it just feels like it's constructive. It just feels like maybe you can build on something here. There's no distractions anymore. You've kind of washed it all away. And, it's like there was a cleansing, and I'm hoping that this means, that you finish the season strong. You're not going anywhere. I'm good with that, but just end respectable, man. That's all. Don't go back to how you were playing. That's all I want. I want you to finish it out the way you should. And Hero, by the way, last night, that was good, man. That was really, really good. And Davion Mitchell came up with some big shots from 3-point range. A guy that I wouldn't count on to do that, but I got to give him credit, man. I got to give him credit. So that was cool. 122-112 win. And congratulations also to Nova Southeastern University as the Sharks advance to the championship. So they are looking for their second title, I believe, right? Second title, if I'm correct. Yeah, right? Yeah. Not last year they didn't win it. It's the year before, right? So they're going for their second, and they're going against California State University of Dominguez Hills. That'll be on Saturday at 3 o'clock on CBS. So tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Got to support the Sharks. Going for the national title, dude. That is freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. So, love that. Anyway, you know what's also awesome? The Big Cheese. Oh, the Big Cheese is so good. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. Those delicious garlic rolls. The pasta that is actually shipped in from Italy. That's right. That's where they bring their pasta from. Directly from Italy. It is cooked fresh daily. Can't beat that. Those garlic rolls are to die for. The pasta, the pizza. And, of course, you can also order platters for your parties, your get-togethers. So call my friends at the Big Cheese, 305-662-6855. Let's see. Jeff in Long Island. I see his number 1 on the chat board there this morning. One-Eyed Jack is in. Cosa Nostra, Alexis Palenzuela, Gus 1388. Aquavision, Dan the Film Gent says, morning, got a dentist appointment. I hope it's with Murias Dental. Rosendo is in the house. Jamie Zoria. Tariq's sponsor would be, I can't believe it's not butter. Remember to smash the like button, people. That's right. Thank you, sir. Everything 305 is in. Skylar Tipton. Reek needs a vasectomy. Yes, he does. He does. Juan Rosa. Davion Mitchell, the better version of Kyle Lowry. Slow-mo Kyle Anderson was good in key moments. Yeah, he reminds me of Adrian Dantley. He reminds me of older Joe Johnson. He reminds me of one more guy that played slow. I'm trying to think of, and I'm forgetting him right now. Ah, Jesus, bro. Anyway, over the years, over the decades, I've seen different kinds of those players, and guys that they're smart, they know how to use their body, they know how to use angles, all those kind of things, so they don't have to be super fast, and Kyle is one of those guys. That's why I mentioned Adrian Dantley, because he played like that too. He had that slow old man game. Joe Johnson, as he got older, he had that slow old man game. Paul Pierce played a slow old man game as he got older also. His game became more of a slow older man game. But there's somebody else from the past I'm trying to remember that, only older people would. I know there's somebody, because it's dancing around in my head right now. I'm just not putting the face and the image right now, but there's somebody else that I know I'm missing. But anyway, point is, guys came up big time, man, and they're all stepping up and they're all filling roles. That's why you're seeing certain guys aren't playing now, because they have holes in their game and they're not basketball players. Davion Mitchell is more of a basketball player, not a great scorer, even though yesterday he played like one, but a good basketball player. Kyle Anderson, not a superstar, not some kind of a stud or anything like that, but a basketball player, and so that's like Spo needs some basketball players to go along with the other guys that are the Tylers and the Bams of the world and the Wiggins. You need those other guys that are going to do all the little dirty things. Right? And by the way, Ware was terrific too. I mean, it's pretty cool to see. It's just a really fun stretch of basketball. Huh? Mark Jackson played slow man's basketball. Yes. Gosh, slow. That's a great one. That's a great one right there. That's a fantastic call. Mark Jackson definitely played the slow man game. Yeah, as he got older. Yeah. Still don't know how nobody's done the hook. It's so stupid that nobody has copied the hook. Or maybe they just can't. Maybe it's just too hard to do it consistently. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard, Frankie Fresco wants a victory cigar for his Gators making the Elite Eight.
Stupid chat. Stupid chat. Stupid chat. Run for cover. Grab the earmuffs. Hide the children. Our IQ is being sucked into a wormhole. Save your brain cells. Stupid chat. Stupid chat. Stupid chat.
No, but you know what you can do? You could give the Miami Heat a victory cigar. You could give Nova Southeastern University, the Shocks, who are going for a title on Saturday, a victory cigar. You can do that, definitely. It's about the hometown there, Frankie. Hometown.
What the f were you thinking?
Exactly, Frankie. What else do we have? Reacher was awesome. So much better than the second season. Yes, definitely. And better than the first season. I'm going. This was the best Reacher season for me. This was my favorite Reacher season. I love the first season. I think the first season is excellent. I thought the second season was It was all right. But this season was excellent, dude. Excellent. Eric says, at least we know the Heat and Finns suck. If Zach Wilson starts, we can at least make the playoffs, though. Wow. You're doing drugs that early, huh, Eric? Yeah.
What the f were you thinking?
Yeah, the guy couldn't win anywhere else that he's been. He hasn't done anything anywhere else, but he's going to take him to the playoffs here. Yeah. Yeah, Mike McDaniel's a real difference maker. Lenny Pena is in. 3 wins in a row is better than losing 10 straight. Damn right. Damn right. And that was a nice game by Hero, Sam. I agree. Slow like the Joker, says Juan Rosa. Yeah, Marlins don't get anything here.
Dude, you might want to walk back that bet. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
They are on pace for 162-0.
That's it. That's true. That's true.
I mean, they're top.
I should go to my Hard Rock app and see what's the buyout right now.
Yeah. I mean, right now they're on top of the standings.
After one win, I want to know.
And a comeback win. These
walk-off.
The comeback kids, baby.
A walk-off.
The cardiac fish.
I tell you. Poor Sandy. He did pitch well overall.
Yeah, for coming back from Tommy. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
again, spring training, yes, you get to throw, but you're not really. It's not game effort. You know, it's different. It's But 4 walks scare me a little bit. You know, but again, he's just coming back.
Right.
Tommy John, but other than that,
enjoy it, bro. You're only going to see it for about 2 more months.
I don't know. They keep this up. I mean,
maybe 3 months.
I mean, come on.
I don't think this is even a deadline thing. I think he'll be gone earlier than that, dude. I think so. If he gets on a roll and he pitches well, he doesn't have to win games. You all know that it has nothing to do. If his ERA is good and his WHIP and all that kind of stuff, he's going to get traded with a quickness.
I think the first good offer that comes available in the area, they probably have an area of what they're looking for Sandy. Well, if that comes across, I guarantee you he's out.
You have to take a haul for him.
No, yes, but I'm saying once that comes across, I think.
And by the way, whoever trades for him gets him cheap in the first couple of years because he's under that contract. Because I don't know what he's got left, but I believe it's 2 years left. I believe it's this year and next year, and then the year after that. So I think it's maybe the 27, maybe 28 season. You got to give him a new contract. So it becomes even sexier because if he's healthy, you're going to get a healthy ace or a potential ace. Or if he's going to a really good team, maybe he's a number 2 on a really good team or a 1, whatever. But he's no more than a 1 or a 2 anywhere he goes. And you're going to get him, I believe it's cheap for 2 more seasons. I want to say it's 2 more seasons. Am I right or am I wrong here? Bro.
What is cheap?
Now, don't think Marlins. I'm thinking,
Well, no, his annual payroll this year is 17.3.
That's nothing.
Okay, then 26 is 17.3. And then in 27, there's a club option, which is 21.
Oh, my God. He has 3 years left?
So he's got 25, 26, 27 as a club option, which I'm sure any club will pick up.
Yes.
So he doesn't become an unrestricted free agent until 2028.
Oh, my God.
And the club option includes a $2 million buyout.
Oh.
And he's got a trade assignment bonus for $1 million.
If he proves he's healthy in the next 2 months, they are going to get a world of offers because they will get an ace that they will control for a couple of years on a very cheap contract. That's the kind of money that the Dodgers find hidden somewhere in some couch somewhere in the game room. That's not even enough money
They're
to
paying their ball boys this.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, give me a break, dude. Yeah. So enjoy it if you watch it, because he's not going to be there very long, you know. So just so you'll know, if you're into it. I really don't give a shit, to be quite honest, because I don't care about the Marlins. They have put me in that position, so I can't do anything about that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do anything about it. By the way, Osmani Garcia, Omega Home Realty Group, and the 990 program, just990.com is the website. 305-440-1990. And I say just990.com is the website. Exactly like that, just990.com. I've known Osmani for about 15 years. This is one of the best human beings on the planet, just a great human being, and he works his ass off, and he's a program director for all of Florida and South Florida. So he runs the 990 program, and that's the way you can sell your home in an affordable fashion. Get the same kind of coverage, the same kind of service that you get from a regular realtor out there. Why? Well, oh, there we go. Kyle Lowry is coming by. You get full real estate services. You get the color brochures. You get the high quality photography. You get the listing on MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, all of that for $990. You get to set the preset show times for your home. Okay, so there's set times already. So that's it. The people that see the ad, they'll come at those set times. Sometimes you're going to get multiple people at the same time, which creates a very competitive atmosphere. It's beautiful. On the side, Osmani will try to sell the home too. Now, as you know, you go sell a home, a regular realtor is going to ask you for 6% commission. Well, we're talking about $990 here if you sell it. Now, Osmani on the side will go look for people. Okay? If he finds somebody on the side that makes the highest offer, then you only pay 2.5% commission, and the $990 is waived. You never pay 6%. So you get it two ways. You get the same coverage that you get from a realtor, plus you get a real realtor. And Osmani, who's been at it forever, also working. So two different ways to sell your home. Reach out to Osmani if you're here in Florida or in South Florida. I promise you, I've known this man for 15 years. He is top of the chain, baby. He is just an absolute great human being. 305-440-1990. Nobody will work harder for you than Osmani Garcia. And the just990.com program. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Captain Saki checking in from the Gulf of America. Damn right. Alexis Palenzuela says the Marlins are playoff bound. Ray Sosa says NSU has been one of the most consistent teams in South Florida outside of the Panthers the past half decade. Yes, I would agree with that. Let's see what else. True Fin fan, me and my son watched the Marlins yesterday. It's a great feeling when your son analyzes and critiques the game like a veteran. That is fun. Frankie says, I saw Flo Rida and Luis Fonsi, not the Marlins. Big O, your thoughts on Trump putting tariffs on vehicles not made in the USA? Listen, man, we'll find out if all of this works. Okay? My opinion, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to raise the money that he thinks he's going to raise and all that, and not have to charge us taxes and all that, and and then not charge people taxes that make under $150,000. Man, what I love for all that is utopia. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because in order for us to become a manufacturing giant again, it's going to take decades. So you're going to have one presidency after another be committed to all of this. And the tariffs, all they do is raise prices for everybody. So we'll see, man. Who knows? Maybe this crazy stuff that he's pulling off works. I doubt it. But, tariffs are not good for anything, bro. Not good for anyone out there. If he can get some of the tariffs off, okay. But if you're going to start stacking tariffs and tariffs and tariffs from both sides like that, and it just becomes a pissing contest, the people that lose is us, the consumers. You know what I mean? So none of it is good. None of it is good. But we'll see, man. Listen, in the end, everything everyone else was trying has never worked. Okay? George Bush Jr. tried it his way, and he added $6 trillion of debt. Obama tried it his way, added $8 trillion of debt. Trump tried it his way, added $8 trillion of debt. Biden tried it his way, added $8 trillion of debt. Now Trump's trying it a completely different way that's never been tried. And whether we like it or not, whether you voted for it or not, this is where we're at. And it's not like anybody has it right. And so, got to deal with it. And that's it, dude. Whatever, man. So, if it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, we were screwed anyways. So, whatever, man. Anyway, had a few pre-B-Day shots last night. That's right, NorCal. Happy birthday to NorCal. And by the way, NorCal is also doing something big today. Okay? He has got the Mannion Woo workout of the day going on for the Travis Mannion Foundation. He's going to do a 400-meter run, 29 back squats. 7 rounds of it. Okay? This goes to honor the life and legacy of First Lieutenant Travis Mannion, a Marine Corps veteran. The workout represents the day Travis made the ultimate sacrifice in Iraq in 2007. And throughout his life, Travis was a fierce athlete who pushed his own limits in and out of the gym. The workout may be completed individually, for time, or split with a partner or team. The most important aspect of the workout is that it's completed in the honor of the life and legacy of a fallen hero. So you get to help out our man, NorCal, and of course, honoring the Travis Mannion Foundation. There is the QR code if you want to help out NorCal, raise a little money for the Travis Mannion Foundation, and our veterans, and NorCal's crazy-ass workout. Happy birthday to you, NorCal. You are one of the best human beings on the planet, my friend. Always doing selfless acts. You are awesome. So please help out NorCal. There's a QR code. Use your phone. Make whatever donation that you can make. Support our own. That's what we do here on the channel. We support our own. All right. What else? Big O, your better half going to do the FRS drop? Is she doing the investment plan? Been retired 10 years now, and neither is enough. The drop program? Yes. Yeah, she's part of the drop program. Yes. Yeah. Nothing is enough, my friend. You know why? Because they print 10% of our money every year. So, people are getting 4% and 6% on their money market accounts, and they think they're getting ahead, and the government every year is printing 10% more of our money. Just do the math. They're devaluing our money. So, yeah, that's why whatever extra money you have, not a financial advisor by any stretch, but it's only one word I have for that, and it's Bitcoin. Anyway,
Let's see what else. That's right. Happy birthdays there for NorCal. All right, let's talk a little Dolphins football with the one and only David Furones and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. So how you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Yes, sir. I actually went to the Miami-Dade County Youth Fair last night. I know you've done some shows from there.
Yes.
I checked out that pig race that where you broadcasted at. I remember last year we were doing it.
Yeah. We would get it every week. Actually, when we would go out there, we'd broadcast right by it and do the pig races, which are just freaking awesome. It was it's fun to do it out there in the fair, man. So I'm glad you went out there and had a good old time at the fair. Did you get an elephant ear?
Yeah, well,
what's the food of choice at the youth fair for you?
Well, I just got a corn dog and one of those like pork and fries cone things that they have. It seemed like one of the better sort of stand-up concession stands, like more legit. And elephant ears just with the group, just like some other people would get one, share, and then by that time, then I kind of had my fix of it. I did want to get one of my own, but it's just they're so big, and then by the time everyone else had ordered one, and I would just pick at theirs, then it was kind of like, all right, I've had enough.
It's funny because when I was a kid, I could get an elephant ear and devour the whole thing. Now when I get it, I may eat half of it. That's it. It's like I can't even eat the whole thing. It's just too much, but it's so good, bro. God, I love elephant ears, man. Jesus, I love elephant.
Our stomachs are not built to have that much sweetness just consumed all at once. I mean, as a kid, you could just go to town on it. But I was thinking when I was there, someone's got to open up an elephant ear restaurant or something, not a restaurant, but just like somewhere where you could buy elephant ears, because you think you go to the fair and like you see like an overpriced slice of pizza and you're like, oh, I could get that at name a pizza place, but you go to the fair and you're like, I gotta have an elephant ear because this is the only place where I could get them.
Right.
So what if there was somewhere where you could go get elephant ears?
Well, dude, during the pandemic, they brought back the vendors only. And we would go in our car over to FIU and in line, and I would go to get an elephant ear, actually. So that was freaking awesome when they did that, because they couldn't do the fair. So they just did the whole car thing. And so people went in droves over there, bro, to FIU and got in line. I know I did it. It took me like, 20 minutes or something the first time. I think the second go around, it was like a little faster because they had gotten the hang of it. But yeah, dude, I did it, and that was a great idea on their part, because I got my fix. I got my elephant ears, because every year I go, I got to get me an elephant ear, man. That is definitely a tradition for me.
I wish I could eat an elephant ear without all the calories.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. That's kind of what has the reason why I've been able to lose the weight, is because I've just kind of limited my intake, basically. Is what I do now. It's just I just don't eat nearly as much as I used to, and now I get full a lot faster because now my stomach is shrinking, which is really cool, because you can expand that stomach and you can actually shrink it too at the same time.
What a concept!
Yes, it's a beautiful thing. So let me ask you, you start looking at Tyreek Hill. Will he have to play till he's 50 since he has 75 kids?
we are at that portion of the off season where we got to start speculating on Tyreek Hill.
Well, I mean, he's I mean, the wife is pregnant again. That's like baby 47. Like I mean, the dude is like I mean, does he vasectomy? Something? Protection? The pill? Something?
It would be smart at some point, but if he has a child with his wife, another one, then that I think is to be celebrated. It's when you start, especially when you're married, when you start having multiple kids with other women, and if more babies are revealed to be coming with other women, then that's where you start to question and maybe do bring up that. I think of my mind goes to Tony Soprano when his wife Carmela is telling him, like, I want you to have a vasectomy because he's just messing around with too many women. Maybe Keita Vaccaro does have to go up to him and bring that up if it were to come out where he was having another one elsewhere. But hey, any baby that he has within the family, then go ahead, have that. Build a big family there. That's all good.
All right, so let me ask you, on a serious note now, instead of all the bullshit and screwing around with his personal life, which is a disaster. On the other side, is it illegal in his contract to be doing these races that he wants to do with Lyles or whoever else? Because I'm just wondering, is he allowed to do something like that? Is he violating any terms of his contract? Because, man, that would be an oversight by the Dolphins there on that one.
Oh, man. And you know what? We had talked about this before, and I actually reached out to an agent who, another agent who it seemed like he was down to go look it up for me. And I guess we both just got busy. It was right before the combine. And then I never heard back after the initial, I'm going to get that for you. And then and I never followed up. He never followed up either. So maybe I
am shocked that none of you guys on the beat have taken the time to find that out. I'm really shocked because that's a story. And if it's a violation in his contract, then you've got a real story on your hand. You got a really interesting article. You know what I'm saying? So I'm shocked that you guys. I would have done that already. I haven't done it out of pure laziness. I could easily pick up the phone and call an agent or two or three that will do it for me, and I haven't even done it. So yeah, I'm shocked you guys have not done it, because I'm wondering, there's usually restrictions on contracts on what you can and cannot do. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'll have to follow up on that conversation. But I would imagine if he's actually going through with it, then not. I imagine he's allowed to run. Maybe there
are you allowed to speed at a game in your car? Are you allowed to allegedly break an IG model's leg?
Those are things that by law
are you supposed to attack an old man at a fishing pier? I'm just saying, are you supposed to run the right routes? Are you supposed to catch the ball when you're supposed to catch the ball? I mean, there's a lot of things that he's supposed to do and he doesn't. So I'm just saying,
Yeah. Some of those things are just by law where they don't need to be covered in a contract. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to assault someone, and you're not supposed to go way above the speed limit in a high foot traffic setting. And some things that are just common sense as well. But
I'm just saying he doesn't really follow laws. So it might be in his contract, doesn't really mean that he's going to follow it too. I'm just saying it just, I don't know. It's interesting to me. I just wonder if there's a clause, and if it's not in his contract, and then the Dolphins probably screwed up on that one, because that's not a guy you want to trust at all in any way, shape, or form, unfortunately.
To give any liberties, freedoms to do as he chooses,
right?
In such circumstances, yeah. But who knows if they even do really follow through with it, right? Like, yeah, we've had Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles go now back and forth, and then now say, "Oh yeah, it is on," and we're about to get the date set up, and it's going to be sometime before training camp in July, and this and that, and yes, basically confirming yes they are going to go through with it, but who knows before the time comes whether this actually all comes to fruition. They could just easily back down, and maybe Tyreek Hill says, "Oh, I don't want to risk it because I'm coming back from this risk and I got to be ready for my team and this and that." So, who knows? It could all be a bunch of just built up BS, and then eventually they just never really do it.
Yeah.
But he's also run in the past in actual track events, like against. Remember, he had that. He ran a 100 against actual track athletes a couple of off seasons ago.
Yeah, again, that's I'm just wondering there, and was it a violation of his contract? Is there a violation of his contract there? Who knows? But man, that's some strange stuff. I would be concerned if I'm the Dolphins. This is a guy that you normally worry about his wear and tear as it is. So why add to it? You know what I mean? And especially since they've been talking about this race where it would be later on and closer to training camp, which doesn't give you a lot of room to get healthy if you happen to, pull a hammy, tear a hammy or something along those lines, and then create real problems.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, what a disaster that would be. But especially the timing of it. But considering that Tyreek Hill was coming off this wrist surgery that he had for a ligament, and then he's got to recover from that. And then if he actually goes through with this, remember when he ran that other event a couple of years back, it was like in February, I remember. Because I think it was either the same day or day after or day before the Jalen Ramsey trade. So it was right before free agency was going on, maybe early March instead of February. So the timing would not be ideal, and it would be a disaster. But I would think a world-class athlete like himself could just run I think they said they're going to run a 100 or was it 60, or they might be doing a 60. He could run that distance without hurting himself, considering that he's got to do it regularly in practice, in games. He knows how to warm himself up, knows how to stretch properly. So I would hope he could avoid injury just running some quick sprinting event, trying to catch the world's fastest man at this time.
Yeah, let's hope so. By the way, our friends at Welt and Rayom, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom, if you need a lawyer, personal injury, commercial litigation, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, business owner claims, condo damage, whatever it is, please call my guys, Welt and Rayom, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. The consultation's completely free, 954-966-4646. We've had lots of our listeners call and also be taken care of by Welt and Rayom, but we've also had listeners on the West Coast, even in Central Florida and Orlando. So all over, call Welt and Rayom and use them and have a lot of success. Why? Because those two guys are like bulldogs. 954-966-4646. Your thoughts on Marino? How was that throw to home plate to Joe Rose yesterday? What'd you think?
Yeah,
is he ready?
I think he had a quicker release on the gridiron, but on the mound you're afforded the ability to wind it up and sure, today there's a pitch clock and everything, but you can still take your time with it. And he delivered. Maybe it was a little low and inside. But it was there. He didn't bounce it at least. So and a nice snag behind the plate by Joe Rose as well. So first pitch, all you ask is that they don't bounce it.
All right. So we had one guy on the chat board that sounded like a complete nutbag, but I'm going to run this by you now. So we look at Zach Wilson as the backup quarterback. We have to imagine that Tua will do something stupid again to get injured, because that's what he does. He puts his body at risk by choice, and he gets injured. So if he chooses to do that at some point this season where he gets injured and he's going to miss a few games, is Zach Wilson the guy that's going to win games for you? Because I don't think you signed the guy that can keep anything afloat. He has never proven that to me. in my eyes. And that's my problem. You didn't really sign a backup quarterback that's reliable. You signed a young quarterback who has been completely unreliable his entire career. At no point has he ever had the word reliability. You know, if you tell me Gardner Minshew, I know Gardner Minshew's not a good starter, but as a backup, okay, he's respectable as a backup because he'll come in at times, not all the time, but he'll come in at times and you'll be fine. He'll keep you afloat, make a couple throws, and you're fine. This guy's never done this as a starter, as a backup. So to me, when you sign Zach Wilson as your number 2, how do you define that?
Yeah, I define it as a project and trying to develop another young quarterback when I agree with you. That's not the ideal position that I would have liked to be in with a backup, considering that, yes, you have a starting quarterback who is injury prone, often is injured, and you need to go to the backup, and you have this win now window that you're still trying to stretch and you're still trying to win while you have a Tyreek Hill on your roster, a Jalen Ramsey on your roster. Now, going into 30 years old, is deeper into their careers, and you're trying to win with this core that you've tried to build for a few seasons. And if you have your quarterback go down, I would prefer a reliable veteran who has done things in the league before. That's why Jimmy Garoppolo was my top choice.
Sure.
I would have gone for a Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, but he didn't want to come here. So that's
got the job with the Rams. That's a nice backup job, to be over there, and also under Sean McVay. Joe Flacco, I would have also liked, just because we saw what he did a couple of years back with the Browns, and then you imagine if he was thrown into 4 straight games because Tua goes on IR with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, Nick Westbrook-Akine, and Devon Achane. I feel like Joe Flacco would make that situation work,
Yeah, it's
like
like
his age. But
when you bring Ryan Fitzpatrick in as a backup, not a starter, okay, that's good. Okay, that's fine, bro. The guy can come in, he can keep you afloat, he can actually make some plays, because he's a bad starter, but he's a really good backup for you. You bring in Matt Moore. Okay, Matt Moore had a little window there when he was here where he was a respectable backup, that he came in, he kept you afloat. I mean, the king of all kings down here in Miami has got to be Don Strock. The stroker, anytime he came in, you had a chance to win the game, guaranteed, okay? He was going to definitely keep you afloat, and Stroker was rarely ever going to screw you over. That's the ultimate backup. But that's what I want from my backup. I want a guy that has been there, that has done this. This kid's never done anything. He never did anything as a starter, never did anything as a backup, never has saved anybody's ass in any way, shape, or form. He's gone after some ass, but he's never really saved anyone's ass. Okay, maybe he's going after all that Boca ass now. Good for him. But it just like you want a backup quarterback. I don't feel like Zach Wilson fills that need. It's exactly what you said. It's another developmental guy. That's not really what you want as your number 2.
That's why I wanted the experienced veteran. And then I would have liked in the middle to late rounds of the draft, find yourself a young quarterback, but to be a number 3 for next season that you could still go ahead and go try to develop and have your fun.
Kyle McCord.
Okay, Kyle McCord. Yeah, after
you don't like him,
ass, right?
You don't like him,
huh? I mean, from what I saw in that game against UM, granted that was Miami's defense last year, but but I mean the guy certainly looks the part.
I like him, dude. I like him. I think he goes in the second round.
Oh,
I really do.
Second?
Yeah, I think somebody reaches for him in the second round. Yeah.
You always have these stories of someone falling in love with a guy, and
I think he might be a real third round pick to maybe 4th, but in a quarterback starved league, and he's smart and accurate, and he's got an NFL arm. He doesn't have like a great arm, but his arm is good enough to make the throws you need, I think somebody's going to take a chance on him. You know,
Wait, so
like the Giants not taking Shador, but then they'll take him in the top of the second round.
Okay.
You know?
What at the top of the second too? Would you like the Dolphins to use their second round pick on him if you want the Dolphins to take him and he's there? Because I don't know if I would want to use a second round pick on a quarterback.
No, I would use a third or fourth on a quarterback if I'm the Dolphins. But I would if there's somebody I like during the third or fourth rounds, I don't mind taking him. But because you need so much on the D and O lines, I need fat guys. I need fat guys, bro, in the first and second round. I need fat guys. So I know you're going to get me a fat guy in that first round. I think in the second round you can get that fat. But the thing is, there might be a safety. There might be something there. There might be an option there for something else in the second round, but because defensive tackles also can be found in the third round and fourth round in this draft. So that's why I'm saying if you get the guard in the first, I can see something else in the second because I can see a defensive tackle in the third and even fourth rounds. This is a pretty deep draft for defensive tackles.
It is. So that's why I would love to see first round, one of those linemen. I imagine one of those top three that we've discussed will be there. I know those safeties are kind of like they're such incredible athletes that they would be sexy picks, but not really a position where you need to go that high with your pick. But that's why, I want to see that first rounder be one of those linemen, whether it's Armand Membu, whether it's Will Campbell, or Kelvin Banks out of Texas. I would love any one of those three.
I'm with you there. Those three are my guys.
D lineman. Yeah, you can go
not
deeper.
Booker. No, you cannot get Booker. Booker does not fit what they do.
Right,
here.
not a fit. Yeah,
he's not a fit for what they do here. He's not athletic enough. He's not the kind of guard that they need in this kind of system. Unfortunately, if you're going to play in a phone booth, then actually Booker fits what you want to do. But in their style of play, Booker doesn't fit what they do. Unfortunately, he's a good player, but not in this system. Unfortunately, what are you working on at the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my man?
Yeah, I recently wrote about free agents interviews, the new incoming free agents that are coming to the Dolphins. Ifeatu Melifonwu and Alexander Madison. Can he be the short yardage guy for the Dolphins? Melifonwu, can he be sort of like a complementary chess piece the way Jalen Ramsey is also in the secondary for Anthony Weaver? So check those out. And then unless there's some news, then I'll just take it easy over the weekend before we get into the league annual meeting, owners meetings in Palm Beach on Monday morning. Mike McDaniel would be set to talk to the media, and that'll be the first time we hear from him after all these free agent moves. So there will be a lot to write once we get into that early next week.
All right, good shit. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. And remember, call our friends at Welton Rayom. Free consultation, 954-966-4646. David, have a great weekend. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Got it. There you go. Welt and Rayom, Miami Dolphins report.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. What do we got here? So what's going on with the markets, man? What's going on with the markets? Where we at? Because we've been having some dipness here a little bit. Bitcoin at $84,000. Why? Because the markets are in red big time. The Dow is down 524 points. I mean, bro, like the Trumpster has killed the markets, bro. S&P is down 81 points. The NASDAQ is down over a point. I mean, it is. I look at it and I'm like, you know what? Actually, Bitcoin's not too bad considering how bad the markets are, and S&P, damn, 500 points. Bitcoin at 85, yeah, it's actually not too bad. Or 84, not too bad. Although I will tell you this, Alethea Liquid Intelligence Token up 11%. The whole market's red, except for Alethea. Somehow or another, Alethea is ripping right now, which is freaking amazing. Up 11%. Everything else is red. Everything else is red. Bitcoin's down 3.5%. Jasmy's down almost 11%. Caspa's down 8%. Solana's down 7%. Hedera's down almost 5%. Avalanche down 9%. Chainlink down 9%. I mean, it just you go on and on and on. Immutable X down 10.5%. And here's Alethea sitting there up 11%. Going completely against the entire grain, bro. Stock market is in the trash, everything, and there's Alethea pumping out of everything else. It is AI, so, you know. Big O, Zach Wilson equals Skylar Thompson, Mike White, or Tyler Huntley. Yeah. Hell, Mike White might be slightly better than those guys, and still not good enough.
I think he's saying Zach Wilson's better than Skylar Thompson, Mike White, or Tyler Huntley.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah, he's got the greater than. I think that's greater
than. I don't. Not really. Not more than Mike White. There's really there. I mean, we're splitting hairs, bro. You know, you can have them all. Basically. You know what I'm saying? You can have them all. I don't want any of them on my team, to be quite honest. And it's funny because, you know, the Zach Wilson thing becomes even more hilarious when you tell me, well, you know, he's a young guy. You know, you can still develop him. Yeah, we're talking about Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel doesn't develop a goddamn thing, dude. He didn't develop Tua. Tua plays well in spite of him. All he did was that he believed in Tua. But his coaching does not better any player. He can't even get a play in on time. He can't get people lined up right. He does not put any quarterback or any offensive player in a favorable position consistently. Yeah, once in a while he'll call some killer plays and they'll hit because he's good. He can design some plays, but he doesn't know how to do that consistently. So to me, you tell me Zach Wilson, he might have a future. Not with this guy. This guy had Skylar Thompson around him and had no idea that he couldn't play. Zero clue that he couldn't play. I don't look at McDaniel as a guy that develops a damn thing, dude. In fact, he's regressed as a coach. So I completely disagree. To me, it's all trash. And I think they settled for Zach Wilson because they couldn't really get what they wanted. So they took what they think is best of the leftovers. So they settled for Zach Wilson because nobody's going to convince me that Zach Wilson is anything, dude. Because he's not. Until proven otherwise, I don't think much of Zach Wilson and never will. His mom, well, that's a whole different ballgame. I have a much higher opinion of his mom. Okay? Yeah, she's hot. She's hot. Let's see. What up, Big O? Checking in from LA. Thank you. Think Blue Dodgers. And he's about to be high as F. He is in California. It's illegal. Don't pick on him. Okay? So, anyway. Aquavision, we don't talk Marlins here, bro. Just so you know, I don't really care about the Marlins or their payroll or their games or anything like that. Have we done the 3A graphic sports calendar? Well, let's do that right now. Let's go. The great Alan Blanco, the amazing Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Your company, your corporation, your school, you need custom printing and embroidery. Please call 3A Graphics. They will get it done. All right? And appreciate those of you that have called and have used Alan Blanco. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can call anywhere in the country. You can call them. Doesn't matter because you do all of that stuff through email and Zoom and all that kind of stuff anyway. So call Alan Blanco if you need it. Professional, man, as it gets. All right, let's first start off with the people that have made it to the finals. And we got to go with Nova Southeastern University. They will headline this update. They beat Washburn University yesterday. They kicked their ass 94-68. Riker Scissorick with 28 points and 7 rebounds. MJ Araldi, 25 points, 9 rebounds, and a block. And Dallas Graziani, 18 points and 11 assists. Nova Southeastern University has made it to the finals of the Division II championship. Number 1 seed Nova will take on the 7 seed California State University of Dominguez Hills. The championship will be played tomorrow, Saturday, 3 o'clock on CBS. Make sure you're tuning in and supporting Nova Southeastern. The Miami Heat made it 3 in a row last night with their win over the Hawks, 122-112. I love it. They fell behind, came back. Hero with 36 points, 13 of 17 shooting, 4 of 6 from three-point range. Nice job by him. Wiggins added 16 points. Davion Mitchell added 16 points, 4 of 5 from three-point range. Saturday, they're in Philadelphia at 7:30. Tonight, on the ice, Utah taking on the Panthers. And by the way, they got their ass kicked in a mammoth fashion last night when they lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning 8-0. That's a mammoth ass kicking of Utah. And if you don't understand why I'm saying that, rumor has it, it's going to be the Utah Mammoth is their name, not the hockey club, which is a sorry-ass name they have now. Anyway, face-off is at 7, and then Saturday at 7:30, Inter Miami is taking on Philadelphia Union. That'll be at Chase Field. And, of course, that is your 3A Graphics sports calendar.
To add on to the Panthers, Paul Maurice makes it official. Brad Marchand will make his debut tonight versus the Utah Hockey Club.
Whatever. Another mammoth ass-kicking is coming to Utah. Okay? Tampa beat their ass yesterday 8-0. 8-0. That's an ass beating. All right. Let's go. Hour number 2 ready to go. Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All righty. How you doing, Manny? How you feeling, my brother?
It's great. It's another beautiful day in South Florida, brother. It's what else can we ask for, man?
Yeah, yeah. It actually started off a little cloudy, and now it's starting to. At least where I'm at in Pembroke Pines, it was a
Mhm.
little cloudy, and now it's starting to open up. Man, there's this ILX. What would you call it? Like a gold color, mustard gold. God, that thing is beautiful, bro. ILX sports package. Holy shit, that car is beautiful. But anyway, all right, let's get to it. It is clearing up and clearing up for a pool party.
Yes, from a recruiting standpoint, this will be a big weekend. A bunch of guys that are going to be coming into town, obviously, to
We'll get
to
to a
hang out.
little we'll get to a little pool party in a little bit here, but I know that there is like this thing with running backs right now going on, and I know Matt Merritt talking a little bit about that, and you got the Derek Cooper kid, all this other stuff going on. So talk to me a little bit about running backs and the Canes here in our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
Yeah, listen, they've done a good job getting commitments. They just got one from Javian Mallory, who's one of the best running backs in South Florida, and they've got a great stable of running backs for this coming season. Mark Fletcher, Jordan Lyle are going to be the men. You know, we talked about Damian Martinez on Tuesday in the NFL draft and how he's going to be a steal for somebody. I think Fletcher and Jordan Lyle are both NFL backs as well, and that's really going to be, to me, when I look at the Hurricanes on paper, you say, well, what's their frontline strength? To me, on offense, it's without question the running back position, right? Because you got your quarterback coming back from a serious elbow injury. You have a bunch of young receivers that have to step up and play well. Yeah, your tight end room looks completely different than it did a year ago when you had a bunch of veteran guys and a guy like Elijah Arroyo. So to me, I look at the running backs, I look at the offensive line and the running game as the strength of this team. And Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle are two guys that I think, you know, going into year 3, right, which Mark Fletcher is, and going into year 2, which Jordan Lyle is, both of them have, you know, hit the weight room really hard. Fletcher has sort of leaned out a little bit, dropped some body fat, added muscle. I think Lyle has added a little bit of muscle to his body, right? Bulked up a little bit more so he can take that pounding. And I think both of these guys right now, the way that they're playing in camp and the way that they're looking, they've got the coaching staff excited about the future because you have a really dangerous 1-2 punch there between Lyle and Fletcher.
And you know, I think this is something that bodes well for Miami in this sense. If we open up and look at the big picture, you tell me if I'm right or I'm just completely a little off here and looking too much into it. But in a world where we do a lot of passing and there's not as much focus on running, and in fact, offensive linemen sometimes when they're getting to the NFL, scouts don't even know how good run blockers they are because they may come from offenses that pass a lot. Well, because of Mario's nature, okay, and also and pretty damn good offensive line coaches too on top of all of that, if you're an offensive lineman and you're a running back, you don't want to end up always in a passing offense because it may not showcase all your skills as a running back. And if you're an offensive lineman and you end up in a pass-happy offense, it may not show your run-blocking skills. But if you end up here, okay, I'm a running back. Well, dude, they're going to give me carries and they're going to let me showcase my skills. And then teams are going to see me block because we pass, and they're going to see me run. And if I'm a lineman, well, guess what? I'm going to get to put my hand on the ground. I'm going to get to drive people into the ground. I'm going to get to push people around instead of me constantly getting pushed around because I'm blocking for a passer constantly. So now scouts don't know if I can do everything. Being in this system, if you're a lineman or a running back, it's got to be a little sexier and more beneficial to your professional aspirations. Yay or nay?
No, without question. And I think, you know, you want to show NFL teams that you can do multiple things. You hit it on the head. And I think in this offense, the way that Shannon Dawson runs things, the way that the running backs are heavily involved in pass blocking as well, not just you know, running out and catching passes, but, you know, setting themselves up, setting the quarterback up. You get to showcase a lot of your abilities and your skills. And I think ultimately, you know, they have a really good system here for running backs and linemen to thrive, which is what Mario loves. This is what he's all about. This is what Alex Mirabal is all about. They want to showcase those guys and let them thrive. And in the end, when you go back and you look at the greatest Miami Hurricanes teams, the ones that won championships, every single one of those teams, dude, had multiple running backs that were really good and big-time contributors that did a lot. Like you said, catch the ball out of the backfield too, right? Melvin Bratton, you think of Alonzo Highsmith, you think of Clinton Portis, McGahee, all of those teams. They did more than just carry the football. They were heavily involved in the entire offense.
Dude, out of the pro day, did it look like Jacoby George was one guy that got like super buzz from all of this?
I think he got some. I think there were certainly some people who watched him and said, "Man, why isn't this guy maybe getting more attention?" As far as a contributor, I think the one thing you got to say with these NFL personnel people is obviously they're looking at the guys that are they're gonna draft. Jacoby George is kind of like a borderline draft pick type guy, at least coming into
he's
the evaluation
guy. Definitely a third day guy.
So to me, it's like until they get here on campus and they see him and physically check him out and then talk to people about him. Jacoby, unfortunately, is a guy who dealt with a lot of like head scratching decisions, right? Just dumb penalties and things of that nature. That was sort of the knock on him. So I think once teams can get a chance to sit down and talk to him, they can make their own evaluation on whether or not they're comfortable with him and willing to take him with one of those day 3 picks. But I think he did well enough from what I heard to generate some buzz and to get some teams interested in him.
All right, you touched on it a little bit. Where do things stand overall with tight end and linebacker?
Yeah, I mean, look, Elijah Lofton is a ridiculously good second-year player, and I think right now when you look at Miami's situation, they've got 4 scholarship running backs on the roster. They don't have 5, and ideally you want to have 5. And I think the reason they don't have 5 is because Elijah Lofton, in a lot of ways, is viewed as that 5th running back. He is a guy who is going to be utilized in sort of an H-back role, catching balls out of the backfield. Not just lining up a tight end. Miami went out and they got a bunch of other veteran guys to help fill the gap. They lost 3 guys from last year that were contributors to that tight end room, and now you have Alex Bauman, the transfer from Tulane, who's played over 1,500 snaps. A guy that is a red zone threat, doesn't produce a ton of catches, but can block, can be used in the red zone. Jake Nickel, who is the older brother of the freshman quarterback Luke Nickel. They got him from UAB. He's another veteran guy who's been in college for a few years now. So, and then you have the guys that you've been sort of grooming behind the scenes. Jackson Carver. He's a guy who's going to block and be involved. So, I think their tight end room is in good shape. Is it going to be as good as it was last year with Elijah Royal? Probably not, just because I think Lofton is a smaller version of him. He's going to be utilized in a different way, but he can be very, very explosive. And I think Bauman can certainly be used in the red zone and be effective there. And then as far as linebacker is concerned, you have to replace Kiko Mauinoa, who was your leading tackler the last 2 seasons. Wesley Besaint is there, but you need a second guy who's to kind of emerge. And the battle has been, the second and third year players, Raul Aguirre, Cameron Pruitt, Bobby Washington, Malik Bryan, all those guys have been in there getting snaps. But ultimately, I think Jalen Alderman, who was a transfer a year ago, he's got 20 career starts, has played a lot over the course of his career. It'll probably be him and Wesley Besaint to start, and then you'll sprinkle in, the Cameron Pruitts and the Popo Aguirres.
All right, good stuff. As always, don't forget, go to Caneswear, use our code BIG-O10. And go say hi to Brett and Jeff and all the great people out there, man. They do amazing work. They got anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. They got Heat gear, Marlins gear, Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear. Check it out. Soon to have Fort Lauderdale United gear. Go see Brett and all the people at Caneswear, man. Great people out there. Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right, and our friends at the Big Cheese. We love the Big Cheese, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. Go see Gary and all the great people out there as always. And of course, we love Billy. We just lost Billy, and it's a crushing blow. But keep that memory alive, because Billy's idea was the Big Cheese 40 years ago and still going strong. So celebrate Billy's spirit by visiting the Big Cheese. And of course, when we talk about the big cheeses that the Miami Hurricanes are going after in the NIL and recruiting report, they are still going after the Ohio State commit, right? The Chris Henry kid?
Yeah, he's supposed to be one of the guys that's down here this weekend. It's a big pool party weekend. You referenced it in the previous segment. It's just there's so many recruits, and this is something every school ultimately does now. They try to have these big weekends where it's like pool party and it's festive, and all the underclassmen. It's basically like an official visit without the official visit, right? Where nobody stays on campus, but they throw a big party and everybody gets to hang out, and you get to see, who's really feeling it, who really is. And I think most of the kids nowadays, the elite recruits, they've gone to campuses so many times. They make 5, 6, 7 trips with their parents to campuses to check things out, that a weekend like this is more about, the entirety of the class, because very rarely will you get everybody in your recruiting class on campus at the same time. But this provides that opportunity where these guys get to know each other, if they haven't already, and they get to be in your environment, in your backyard, and sort of start to envision, man, what would life be like at the University of Miami if I came in with these other dudes? And so for Mario Cristobal and for everybody in the recruiting department and what they're doing, this is a huge weekend.
I'm with you there. So let me ask you something. On the recruiting side, where are they limit wise? Like, what are the numbers right now? Because we always used to know how many recruits they still have space for and that kind of stuff. And I know some of this stuff is fluid because some guys are in the transfer portal and all that other stuff. So do we know?
Yeah, the NCAA changed the rules to 105 scholarships, basically, is what you have, a roster limit of 105 players, including walk-ons. So when we used to count scholarships back in the day and say, man, are they under the 85 and all, you really don't know anymore. Because in the end, as Mario told me once, we'll always get the number to where it needs to be. Right? We'll figure out a way to get under the limit. So what I would tell you is this: don't worry about it anymore. It's not something that is a big deal in terms of what coaches worry about, and they can. And I think there's a networking system now, man, where a lot of these guys take players and they say, hey, you want to come practice, like even with the walk-ons, you want to come practice with us. We know people at other schools. We can help you get on another school, that kind of thing. And they do that with their own recruits. Hey, it didn't work out here. You were here for 2 years. You're not going to play here. We know somebody at FIU, or we know somebody at Louisiana Tech, and they just it's like there's like an exchange system of players, bro, and they just kind of help each other out.
So what's this pool party entail?
Well, I'm sure all kinds of food, all kinds of fun, probably some attractions, right? Some ladies will be hanging out around the pool as well.
There's nothing like those boat parties that they had years ago, right?
No.
Layla wasn't happy with, or some.
Right, when you had all kinds of boosters like Nevin Shapiro and all kinds of people around providing extra entertainment for the recruits. No, I think look, they have compliance committees. schools have gotten in trouble enough, self-reported themselves enough where, I think they're conscious more than they were before when they were trying to hide everything. Now that you can pay players and do things a little differently, there's more freedom to do stuff. But I think at the same time, they don't have to sort of go the extra mile. Because the players know, hey, in the end, it's the paycheck that I really want, right? It's the contract. So I think all those extracurriculars have sort of gone out the window because there's really no need to do them anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's just kind of screwed up. All right, I'm going to ask you something that maybe you're not, might be a little bit out of place here. So, but it is kind of big cheese. Do we know if, because I saw Jai Lucas is stealing the GM from Duke, and she's coming over, and she used to work for Nike and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm just wondering, bro, the Boozer brothers, is there?
Yeah.
Is there even a chance or something? Or are we just because we're getting Jai, we think we got a real shot at Boozer when we really don't have any shot at the Boozer brothers?
I asked someone earlier this week that question, and the response I got was very political, which was, I really don't know if it's going to make a difference. In the end, the Boozer father, of course, played for Duke, right? And so. Yeah. It's ultimately, I think, up to those guys. I think Miami's standpoint is this. We have an entire roster we have to make over. And if the Boozer brothers come, man, that's awesome, right? We're going to get 2 homegrown products that are great players. But we have also got to refill the roster and win, right? We need to. So while it's a priority, I think deep down inside, they certainly would love it. I think they also are like, either way, we got a lot of work to do. So I think that's the perspective that I have on it from somebody that I spoke with earlier this week.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. All right. Any other big cheese news that we should know about?
Just, you mentioned Chris Henry earlier. There's a lot of big time 5-star, 4-star guys that are going to be here this weekend. I was going to go over some of the names. One of them is Kanye Pepe. A kid out of Bradenton IMG Academy. He's one of the 10. I wrote a column this week on the 10 most intriguing uncommitted prospects in the 2026 class. Kenya is a guy who is from California originally, but has been at IMG Academy here in Florida for the last 4 years since he was a freshman. And Mario has a long relationship with this guy. So does Alex Mirabal. They've been talking to him since the kid was in the 8th grade or 7th grade. And so, you talk about
Kenya Pepe.
Kenya Pepe, yes, Pepe. Big dude, 6'7", 320 pounds.
Miami, I used to love Carlos and Pepe. Remember that restaurant, that Mexican restaurant? It was by Dadeland.
Yes.
And then there was another one. There's another Carlos and Pepe right on the 17th Street Causeway in Fort Lauderdale. Fat people know food, bro. We know food. We don't. That's our.
Yeah, that's our specialty, bro. That's our specialty.
Our landmarks. Hey, look, you go 4 blocks down at the Burger King, you hang a right, you go down a mile, there's a KFC, hang a left, and it's right after the Dunkin' Donuts. You'll see it right there. And that's it. Right. That's our directions. That's how fat people do directions. That's how I do it. But if we still had Carlos and Pepe in town, that would have been an NIL thing for him right there, bro.
For sure. Really good player. I got a chance to meet the kid a couple summers ago when I was down at IMG. He's been starting for a long time. He's just like to me, he's like a Francis Mauinoa. And so he'll be down here with a bunch of IMG kids. I think it's basically a Miami USC battle for those guys. And, look, there's a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of big dudes. There's a 6'5", 300-pound tight end coming here from Brunswick, Georgia. He's a tight end, though. 6'5", 300 pounds. Wow. Okay, he's like a super freak athlete. Lamar Brown, a kid out of Louisiana, 6'4", 275 pound, can play offensive line or defensive line. It's going to be hard to beat LSU for him because he's from Baton Rouge University Lab School. But again, big weekend, a lot of meat on campus. A lot of big body boys on campus, which Mario loves. And I think that's the difference, right? When I look at this from a step back view, and we've talked about this a long time since Mario's been the head coach at Miami. You got to get the dudes on your campus, right? Even if you don't get them, win the first recruiting battle, you could get them the second time around. And as long as they're getting big-bodied, physical dudes at the line of scrimmage, then this thing is going and operating the way that it should.
Yeah, exactly. And let's hope they can get over the hump this year and start. Well, they're going to have to, because again, you're getting, you're kind of stuck where you're not really building. You're kind of just like putting a project together every year now with NIL, because
you restart your team every year.
Yeah, you only had one shot with Cam. Now you only have one shot with Carson Beck.
Right.
And that's I don't know if that's productive.
Unfortunately, that's the sport of college football now, and I've been saying this to you now for a couple of years. I've been telling you it's trending to be just like college basketball is, right?
Yeah.
Where you build one team, and Duke and Kentucky always are going to have great teams because the best players are going to go there, right? Or UCLA or whoever, somebody in the Big Ten. In the end, you're making a 1-year run, and that's what college sports has evolved.
I just think Mario is better with more consistency players around him, instead of, I don't believe he's the guy that can wing it from year to year and change things up and a whole bunch of new faces and all that kind of stuff. I think he's the kind of guy that kind of needs to be around the same people and not that much like it used to be, not a ton of turnover every year, some turnover, but a lot of consistency. Here with the NIL stuff, man, you are getting a lot of turnover every year, and it really takes a special coach to be able to kind of, get back into the kitchen again and, different ingredients, and then come up with another great meal. That's hard, and he hasn't come up with a great meal yet.
Right. He had his chance last year, and
he had a Heisman Trophy candidate last year, and he couldn't even he couldn't even get in the conference game, couldn't get in the playoffs. That's bad, dude. It's bad.
It's gonna be like that, and I think the good thing for Miami again is that they're spending money on NIL. The problem for this program for so long was the spending, and that's not a problem anymore. And I think as long as they spend, that is the key to this all, because sooner or later you find the right coordinators, you find the right quarterback, you find the right. It's just not going to be what it was in the 80s. They're not going to win. They're not going to win 4 national titles in a decade. This is hey, maybe they can get together for 1 year. Maybe they make the playoffs a couple years in a row, and the momentum continues. But I just think it's more of a every year you gear up and hope that you can make that run.
Yeah. It's what we lived is over. That will never ever happen again. But man, it would be nice to see something that resembles that from back in the day. All right, what do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I just wrote a Miami Hurricanes mailbags as we're at the midway point of spring football. I answered a bunch of questions with that, and I mentioned the recruiting 10 most intriguing prospects that was knocked out as well. So I've been putting out some content this week. I'll have more next week as well.
All right, good stuff. And follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up next week. Thank you.
All right, brother.
You got it.
No problem.
There you go, the great Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
Chase one says, Reacher got me wanting to do roids, Big O. Yeah, he's a big dude. And there's a bigger dude in that show. I don't want to say anything. It's a really good episode, really good season this year for Reacher. Really enjoyed it. I'm glad they've kept, I think it's like the most watched show on Prime on Amazon. I think it's the number 1 or number 2 show watched on Amazon Prime or something like that. So it's incredibly popular. So yeah, but good stuff, man. Good stuff. I've enjoyed it. And any of us would love to look like Reacher, Yeah. He's He's a wall and a half. You ever watch that show? Okay. It's a good show.
I might try it out.
You have Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Oh man, you should go start in season 1. And it's only like, I think it's 8 or 10 episodes, so they're not really long seasons or anything like that. Season 1's excellent. You'll get hooked. Once you see season 1, you'll get hooked and you'll be fine. Watch season 2, it's all right. And then season 3 is excellent. Season 2 is the worst out of the 3. I got that they went in a little different direction than they did in this one and in the first one. So the first and the third were more entertaining, I would say. That's how I would phrase it. Anyway, and remember, support our guy, NorCal. All right, the birthday boy. It is his birthday, and he's doing the Mannion Wu workout. All right. Crazy bastard. 400-meter run, 29 back squats. He's doing 7 rounds of that. So let's support our guy. There's the QR code, and he's doing it for the Travis Mannion Foundation in honor of our fallen hero. So if you can, the Mannion Wood 2025 Challenge. Okay. All right. What else do we have going? Oh, you know what? Let's let me do a little music stuff. By the way, I am headed to Pompano Beach Amphitheater tonight. Anybody going over to see what's it called? Violent Femmes? I will be there at the Pompano Beach Amphitheater. That should be a lot of fun. Say hi if you're going out there. All right. Do not be afraid to say hi. All right. Let's go with some birthdays today on March 28th. What musicians were born on March 28th? We start with Lady Gaga. Stephanie Joan Angelina Germanotta, born in 1986. Dave Cooling, guitarist from The Killers, born in 1976. Let's see. Cheryl James, a.k.a. Salt from Salt and Pepper, born in 1969. James Atkins, guitarist and vocalist for the band EMF. Ow! You're unbelievable. In, let's see, Ged Grimes, bassist for Simple Minds, born in 62. Reba McEntire, country singer, born in 1954. 35 number 1 singles. And, of course, she's also a actress, too. Little comedy. She's got a new show, too. I forgot what the name of it is. Let's see. What else? Celebrating birthdays today. Mylan Williams, keyboardist, brass, and guitarist for the Commodores, born in 1948. Chuck Ports, American rocker with the Turtles. So happy together. Let's see who else. That's it for musicians. Let's go with other famous folks celebrating birthdays today on the 28th. And we start off with Julia Stiles, movie actress. She is 44. Oh, a light list so far. Annie Wershing, TV actress. She was born in 77. We lost her in 23. Way too young. Oh, I see these wrestlers you're going to name, I'm sure. Vince Vaughn, 55. Shannon Moakler, model. I know her, 50. Kate Gosling, I know her, the reality star, 50. And that's about it. John Stanley. Do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. It's a perfect list today.
All right.
Dangerous Danny Davis, he turns 69. Goldilocks, she turns 46. Mustafa Ali is 39. Rory McAllister is 49. Yoji Anho is 58. Man, I got to wrestle when I was wrestling. The Warlord, he turned 63.
Damn.
Umaga was born on this date in 1973. Sadly, we lost him in 2009. And also, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, was born on this date in 1958, and we lost him in 2003. Those are your birthdays for March 28th, 2025.
Damn right. All right. Let's do music history. What happened in music history on March 28th? Well, we start off in 76 with Genesis. They began their first post-Peter Gabriel era, the North American tour in Buffalo, New York, visiting, of course, Lisa out there, right? Drummer Phil Collins replaced Gabriel as the lead singer. In 2000, Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page was paid a substantial amount in libel damages and given an apology after London's High Court decided a magazine article that accused him of contributing to the death of drummer John Bonham was inaccurate. The 99 article claimed Jimmy was more concerned with keeping vomit off his bed than saving Bonzo's life. It also said he stood over John wearing Satanist robes and performed a useless spell. In 92, Ozzy Osbourne's fans caused over $100,000 worth of damage in California Irvine's Meadow Amphitheater after the Prince of Darkness invited the first two rows of audience on stage. Many others took up the offer, and the band had to flee to the backstage. Yeah, not a good idea. In 81, Blondie started a 2-week run at number 1 on the singles charts with Rapture. And in 2005, U2 kicked off the Vertical Tour in San Diego. The 131-day trek would see the band play in North America, Europe, South America, and Japan. And that's what happened today in music history. All right, good stuff. NorCal says, Big O, seriously, you are absolutely the greatest talk show host ever. Well, I don't know about that, but thank you. Very nice. He says, you involve so many with your show. Keep bringing us all the best info. Thank you. Well, we're all a family, dude. You know what I mean? I've been at this for 35 years. You don't do it by yourself, you know? And I've been involved with a lot of great people in the process, a lot of great people that have given me the opportunity to do this, you know? And I get to work with people like Sean Stanley and Bill Preston, rest in peace, and Brandon Rodriguez and Brian Spector. And, you know, I've been blessed to work with some really, really good people overall. And then obviously all of you and listeners and people like you, NorCal, that I've known for, I don't know, over 20 years now, right? Something like that. You know, that you can't do it by yourself, and you get to develop great relationships with people. And, you know, Mr. Zinn, who's a, you know, massive supporter of our program. And, you know, years ago, we started with Seth Finkel, that was the general manager here. And then Larry Schlossberg took over, and, you know, we hit it off. And it's the reason why we're able to do this for a long time. So, yeah, man, it's all of us, you know. So I never have any problem including all of you in everything that we're doing. And so I'm glad that you're a part of it, my brother. I'm glad to have you as a friend, and I'm glad that everybody is also getting behind you and supporting you too at the same time, which they should, because you are an amazing dude. You know, by the way, one of our amazing people out there, Big E, he's going through a rough one, bro. That's the one that I feel for right now. And I feel helpless just only being able to retweet that the man needs a kidney. But if you can go to my Twitter page and retweet it, and there's going to be somebody out there, man. So there's got to be somebody out there that can help this man, because All Big E ever does is help everybody else. That's all the guy. That's all I ever see him doing. He is one of the more selfless individuals I've ever seen, like NorCal. And right now, that would be my wish right now, is that somebody would somehow step up and have the match that they can save this man's life. That is, to me, that's one of the most important things going on around me, is that right there. Let's see. What else? Never go to the woods with Goldilocks. Ronald Hubbard says, happy place. She is pretty funny. Reba is a phenomenal performer as well. Oh, Happy's Place. So that's the name of the show. Yes, that's it. Wilfred Joseph just puts in a bunch of AEWs. I guess something's going on this weekend.
No, that's just his usual thing that he throws up there.
All right. Are you and Frankie doing anything coming up here?
No, we got the show Tuesday, and then WrestleMania's April 19th and 20th. We'll be doing some stuff around there. But right now, just the live show on Tuesdays, Stanley Media House Network.
All right. Okay. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love on the Super Chat. Remember, you can make a donation Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And there's a nice dip in both. So you can make a donation of any or either, whatever. It doesn't matter. And you can make a donation also on PayPal, too. Another way to make a donation for those of you that live out of the country. Frankie Fresco on the Super Chat puts question for both of you. Who threw a better first pitch, Dan Marino or MJF? Who's MJF?
He threw out the first pitch for the Texas Rangers because AEW.
Who is MJF?
He's a wrestler for AEW. Their pay-per-view is going to be at Arlington Stadium.
Well, I can't.
So he threw out the first pitch. Dan Marino was better because he threw from the mound and he got to the plate. MJF barely got to the plate, throwing halfway.
Oh, I didn't see it, so I have no idea.
You didn't miss anything. Trust me.
Yeah, I didn't see MJF. I can't comment on something I have no idea, bro. So I'll let him do it since he saw both of them. I only saw the Marino one. I didn't see the MJF one, so I cannot. No idea. But I'm going to go with Marino anyway because it's Marino. What am I going to do? Pick against Marino? That's not in my DNA, Frankie. So without even knowing what MJF did, I'm going Marino all the way, bro. That's it. Been listening to Big O since 2008. Thank you, NorCal. You're amazing. Oh, man, Big E, Ian Berger is such a great man. Gosh, I got to do so much more to be like Big E. We all want to be like Big E, but right now we need to save Big E so he can continue to do big stuff, you know? So we got to save Big E. There's got to be a match somewhere out there, man. Somewhere out there, somebody's got to be a match. So let's hope so. And if you can share the tweet or anything like that, please do, man. Please do. Frankie says lies from Sean. Who do you think was the president who threw the better first pitch? Oh God, that's not even up for debate, bro. Oh, he's on the front of the mound. Oh, yeah, that's some bad shit, yeah. And he threw like this high-pitched softball floater. Yeah. By the way, George Bush Jr. threw the best first pitch of any president that I know of. At least that I know of. I can't tell you what they did in 1952, if they have the film of it in 44 or something. I have no idea. You know, so I can't help you there. But at least from me living and knowing and seeing any president's pitch, it's not even close. Bush Jr. threw a nice pitch, too. Not only was it a good pitch, it looked good. Like his form was good and everything. Like he was solid, dude. Like he looked like he had some athleticism, in other words, when he was younger. Put it that way. Oh, God, it's not even close, dude. I don't care about and as you know, I don't care about either side. I dislike both sides equally, okay? Don't trust either, don't care about either, don't want either. But I'll tell you very objectively about both of them, good or bad. Bush Jr. by miles. And it's not even close. And if I remember correctly, didn't we have like some shit going on at that time? The whole 9/11 stuff. Wasn't it like there was some pressure and shit, right? I'm pretty sure there was like a buildup for that first pitch. I think it was after 9/11 and everything. I want to say it was the April after 9/11. I want to say, and it was all that, and Bush Jr. came out, bro, and he delivered. I want to say, I'm going to throw that out there. Okay, so I like Utah Yeti better. Who's Utah Yeti? Is he watching another show? He just want to throw that out of there, just like out of the blue. Hey, by the way, I'm still for the Yeti, okay? Even if it's a cooler, I'm for the Yeti, all right, buddy? That comes like out of left field. Oh, man. That's freaking classic True Fin fan. That was awesome. Oh. Game 3 and what year? October. So yeah, right after it's the couple months right after 9/11. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure at that moment, and Junior came out and threw a nice pitch.
And the internet does not lie. George W. Bush, 2001 World Series, best pitch from a president.
Oh, they have a list?
There is a list.
Oh, give me number 2. Give me 3. Give me 4.
Gerald Ford, the 1976 All-Star game.
Wait a minute. Hold on. He was able to stand straight?
I'm going off.
Again,
internet does not lie.
I don't know who falls more, Gerald Ford or Biden. Seriously. I mean, some of you can't even answer that because you have no idea. You're not old enough. But Gerald Ford fell a lot. The man fell off a stage. Okay? I mean, it's close. Although I got to say, Ford was younger than Biden. So maybe Biden has a little bit of an excuse because he's 177 years. I mean, Biden was dead. We had a dead president. Like they used to they had made a movie called Dead Presidents. Who knew we would have one in office? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, they even said he was infamous for his clumsiness.
Yes.
But he showed athletic acumen. He tossed one pitch left-handed and one pitch right-handed.
Oh, shit. Then he's number 1. I got to see that. I got to.
William Howard Taft, opening day 1910.
Well, they don't even have the film for that shit. But wait a minute. Gerald Ford did an ambidextrous first pitch?
Yes, it says that. That's what he's saying.
He's number 1. I got to see that. First of all, I don't know how he stood straight on the mound. I don't know how he didn't fall off the mound. I don't know how he didn't break his leg off the mound. I don't know how he made it to the mound. I don't know how he made it out of the dugout. I don't know how he made it to the stadium. I'm not exactly sure how he made it out of bed, but I'm amazed. Yeah.
And it gained points because he was accompanied by legends Henry Aaron and Johnny Bench. Or he was throwing. Wow. So there you.
So Bench caught it?
I'm guessing that they just say he was accompanied by legends.
Oh, wait a minute. I bet
Henry Aaron and Johnny Bench.
I bet they were both the catchers.
Yeah, one caught the right and one caught the left.
Yeah.
So John F. Kennedy, opening day, 1961.
It's not what you can do for your country. No, it's what you can do for your country. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Harry
and
S.
we will
Truman.
go to the moon.
Harry S. Truman is number 5 for opening day, 1950.
A little before my time.
Oh, he was the first president to throw the pitch left-handed and right-handed. He did it that then. He also did one pitch left-handed and one pitch right-handed. Harry Truman. Woodrow Wilson.
Ohtani who?
The 1915 World Series.
All right.
George H.W. Bush, opening day, 92. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, 1937. Barack Obama.
When Bush Sr. was on the mound, did he say no new pitches?
Let's see here. Does not look like, no, does not. He actually bounced the ball.
Who? George Bush?
George H.W. Bush.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes.
Barack Obama, 2009 All-Star game. Bill Clinton, opening day, 94.
Bill Clinton, huh? That's a dirty fastball. Woo! He's got to stick them. You know what I'm saying? You don't know where those fingers have been. Anyway. What are you going to do? Let's see what else. You do know Ford was an All-American football. No, I know that, but you do know he was an All-American goofball. I mean, I don't care what he was, but he was terrible when he was a president. The guy, I'm telling you, it was like a disaster. You know that. You're a historian, Rosendo. I don't care how athletic he was. While he was president, he lost all his athleticism. Taft was our largest president. Well, then we should draft him to be a guard for the Dolphins. Good thing Biden didn't try to throw out the first pitch. He wouldn't have been able to even lift the baseball without Obama's help. Bro, it would have taken him 4 years to make it to the mound. He would have thrown it, and it would have but could Biden even carry a baseball? Give props to FDR, who had polio. Oh, wow. Brian, you got it. Let's give Bill Clinton. I mean, if we're going to give a victory cigar to anybody, it's got to be to Bill Clinton. Go. I mean, listen, there's only one guy in the world that has a human humidor. Anyway, let's see, what else do we have? By the way, just a couple of music notes, just in case for you classic rockers, especially for those of you, if any of you are watching outside of the United States, Foreigner, by the way, is touring, and they are going to be, they're going to have Lou Gramm filling in. Kelly Hansen is out. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Hansen out because apparently some health issue. So Lou Gramm is reuniting with Foreigner temporarily. The band's original singer will replace Kelly Hansen during their South American tour. So if any of our friends in South America says some issues have forced me to limit appearances outside of the U.S., that means, unfortunately, I will miss Foreigner's South American run. However, our incredible bandmate Luis Maldonado has been recording some of our hits in Spanish, and he will be handling most of the vocals, along with Lou Gramm, who will be guesting with Foreigner for those shows. I know they will smash it. Okay? Gramm helped found Foreigner in 76, as you all know, all that good stuff. But if you happen to live in South America and you see Foreigner coming to town, you might end up seeing Lou Gramm, the original singer, with them. So that's actually a pretty cool thing for you. If you never saw Foreigner, if you never saw Lou Graham, you get an idea. That would be good. That would be good. So there you go. What else do we have? Bill Clinton threw the spitter on that first pitch. Definitely. Why hasn't Trump not thrown a first pitch? I don't know. I don't think that would work out very well. He doesn't look like he would do a good job, by the way. And his hair and all that, yeah. Plus, he goes out on the mound, he starts sweating. That orange starts dripping. You know? Huh? Well, it will blend in. Well, he can actually grab the clay and just actually, that's a good thing. The clay he blends in with the clay. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good call by you, dude. I like that. Lou Graham is the only real voice of Foreigner. Amen? Amen? Let's see. They did have a fallout. Yes, but they've kind of sort of made up. I saw a reunion of Foreigner with Lou Graham out in California. We went and saw 2 shows, me and my buddy, Grieper, and so they kind of have hammered it out a little bit, you know. I mean, Lou doesn't sing like he used to anymore. Okay, so that's kind of what happened too. So, let's see. Frankie Fresco says, I got it. Baseballs are made in Costa Rica, not in America. Well, not for long. We're going to put tariffs on that too now. All baseballs have got to be, it's an American game. It's an American game. All the baseballs must be made here in the U.S. So tariffs. No Taiwanese baseballs, no Chinese baseballs, no Mexican, Costa Rican, Venezuelan baseballs. No. We want it made here in the USA. Okay? In our 51st state, Canada. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Would Greenland be 51st? Or Panama, since, we're going to take over Panama too.
Just depends which one we get first, right? Then it'll be 51, 52, 53.
So let me ask you something. Is Puerto Rico feeling like we're cheating on them? Because they really should be the 51st. And now we're not giving them officially the 51st. And now all of a sudden we're telling Canada, you can be the 51st. And Puerto Rico's like, yo, well, what about us? We've been with you guys forever. Why don't we get 51st? Canada should be 52nd. I mean, there's an argument to be made here. I'm just saying.
What have you done for me lately?
Just saying. Fentanyl isn't coming from Puerto Rico. They're not crossing the border from Puerto Rico to the USA. So I'm just trying to defend my Puerto Rican friends out there. Okay? They're pissed off right now. They're going, hey, yo, wait a minute. It's like, you're going out with this woman. You tell her you love her. You're going out with her. You're going out for years. And then all of a sudden, you break up with her, and a week later, you marry somebody else. And that woman's feeling like Puerto Rico right now. Well, wait a minute. We've had a relationship for a long time here. We've been a territory. How do we not get 51? We were here before Canada. Tell ya. Puerto Rico should be pissed. You don't want to piss off a Puerto Rican. I just want to tell you that. You don't want to piss off Puerto Ricans. And that's basically what you're doing right now. You're pissing off Puerto Ricans. Tell you. They have a right now to be pissed off. By the way, we got the Spring into Performance sales event going on right now. The ADX, I can see it from here. Man, that is a beautiful vehicle. $359 a month right now. Come on down to the number one volume sales dealership in the United States. That's right, number one Acura dealership. It is right here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. $359 a month. The Integra 2025 model, $339 a month. You can get 3.9% financing for 60 months. How about this? The ZDX, you can get electrified. I'm looking at a few of them right now. $439 a month, 0% financing for 72 months. Take advantage. Do it now. Okay? I don't know how these tariffs are going to affect anything. Do it now. Number one volume sales dealership, the RDX. My wife drives one every day for the last 15 years. $399 a month. And did you hear that? She's been driving one for the last 15 years. That means they last. They last. Okay? All right? The MDX Tech, we are willing to take $10,000 off the MSRP. So come on down here. Larry Schlossberg, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the amazing people out here. This great sales staff that will take care of you. We've got brand new vehicles. We've got certified pre-owned vehicles. We've got all kinds of deals for you. Come on down here. We're at the end of the month. They want to make you some great deals at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Brett Dodger says, we will not be a state, period. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm counting on just crossing over without a passport anymore. You know? Just driving over to Manitoba. Cruise by Ottawa. Calgary. That's right. Maybe the Dolphins will be moved to the CFL. Relegation and promotion. I love it. Relegation and promotion, CFL, NFL. Dolphins versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Yeah, yes. Less players on the field. It'll open it up for McDaniel's offense. I like it. I like your thinking. And by the way, Dolphin fans, when we do get relegated to the CFL, think about it, okay? Canada gets absorbed by the states to become the 51st state. Then we become relegation promotion with the CFL NFL. The good thing is, once we get relegated to the CFL, we have a chance now for a title. So, we won a Super Bowl. I mean, that's been done before. Let's go win a Grey Cup. Who the hell wants another Lombardi trophy? That's boring. The Patriots just kept repeating it. Boring. Win me a Grey Cup. Exciting. That's what you're supposed to do. For first team to do it, you win a Super Bowl and you win a Grey Cup. And then you move on to like the XFL.
It's the UFL.
Okay, the UFL.
They start this week, actually. It's the first week, yeah.
So then, we move on to the UFL. We win there. That's all. Then we move on in the Australian, rugby league. Win there. I think that's what we're supposed to do. Like a soccer team collects like all kinds of different trophies. I think that's what we should do as the Dolphins. We should become the Savannah Bananas of football. I think we'd be better off that way. The Dolphins becoming the Savannah Bananas of football. Okay? Dolphin Banana Wanas. I don't know what we would call ourselves, but something along those lines. I think we'd be better off. Think about it. We'd pack stadiums all over the place. Tyreek can bring all of his kids. I mean, really adds to the dog and pony show. I like it. I think it would be. I think we would be better off as an organization, as Miami Dolphin fans, if we were the Savannah Bananas of football. I mean, we already proved that they fill stadiums, right? Well, that's it. We can now just travel the world, and it's awesome. It's fantastic. That's what we should strive for. A Grey Cup and becoming the Savannah Bananas of football. That would make me proud of the Dolphins. I think that would be a real accomplishment. Let's see. What else do we have? On a different note, says Rosendo, there's a Florida bill that is advancing that could allow teens to work more hours on school days, cut some work restrictions for teens as young as 14. Yep, that's what we want to do. Yep, let's not educate people. Nah, let's just put them to do work. Yep, that's productive. Skyler has Greenland becoming the 52nd state. Again, Puerto Rico's pissed off. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like what we're doing to our Puerto Rican friends. We're just, discounting them, and that's just not nice. It's just not nice. It's not right. That's all I can tell you. Okay? It's not right. It's wrong on every level. Okay? It's interesting. Kyle McCord. Saints are working him out. And Kyle McCord is this guy that he's considered a top 5 quarterback in this draft. And he's the guy that's the tweener. I like him. He's one of those project quarterbacks because anybody past the first round or late first round and on is pretty much a project quarterback because they've got holes in their game, and that's why you're taking them late first or second or third or fourth, and because the holes get bigger and bigger as you drop. And so he's probably going to go, I think, second, maybe even third round. I could see him going in second. Do I think late first? Unless a Super Bowl contender or a Super Bowl winner or whatever, they want to plan for the future and they want to get that 5th year. But I doubt it. I don't think it's that much with him. But I could see somebody taking him in the second round. And definitely he's gone by the third, I think. That probably is a sweet spot, the third round. But I could see somebody reaching the second round for him. He's smart. He's accurate. His arm is strong enough. He's got the size. All the physical abilities are there. And it's interesting that he's the kind of guy that's going to be looked at by teams that think this guy's got starter material and we could develop him. He's going to be looked at as the guy that they say, hey, this guy is going to be a great backup for our established starter. Let's take him. Or a team like the Miami Dolphins that has a quarterback that unfortunately you can no longer trust, as we established that last year during the season that we told you we're done with Tua. There's no trusting him at all. He refuses to be responsible. So you can no longer trust Tua. By the way, they know that in the building. Okay? They know that in the building. Will they handle that? I don't know. But they knew in the building that they shouldn't have paid Tyreek, and then they changed their minds after that. So sometimes even because they know there are disagreements in the building, And then all of a sudden, some people start winning the argument, and then they sway. But I could tell you they weren't paying Tyreek. And then all of a sudden, they caved. So what do you do here? All right, if you're the Dolphins, do you spend your second rounder or third rounder on this young man? Because, yeah, you got to build up the lines. And if you draft a guard in the 13th pick, well, you did enough to protect Tua because you signed a guard, you drafted a guard, you have your center, you have your tackles, you're in. So you did enough to at least set up your line. Hopefully it all works out. So that second or third rounder you can play with. And, you know, as I told Furones, defensive tackles, you're not forced in this draft to take them in the second round. There's actually going to be some guys in the third and fourth rounds that you're going to be able to take. So Kyle McCord, who can go in the second or third round, Miami could look for him too. He's the kind of guy that interests all teams. As people with established quarterbacks will take a chance on him because he is worthy of drafting and developing, and he might turn into something that you can trade down the line. Teams that are desperate for a quarterback will draft him because he has all the qualities I just talked about. And then there's the teams like Miami who have a very capable quarterback. He's been in the MVP race. He led the NFL in completion percentage. So you're pretty goddamn good if you lead the NFL in completion percentage. You're exceptional, okay, if you do that. So he's more than capable, but he's not trustworthy. He's injury prone. He's fragile. So you've got to protect yourself, and Zach Wilson does not protect you. Zach Wilson was there for all to be had, and nobody wanted him. So let's not kid ourselves. It's not like they found anything that was wanted by anybody in Zach Wilson except a couple of MILFs in Boca. So I find Kyle McCord to be an interesting player for this draft because he's the kind of guy that I can make the argument, I can make the case. No matter what kind of quarterback I have, I can make the case for drafting Kyle McCord. Think about that. I can make the case for anybody that an established guy, or I need one, or in our case, you have one, but unfortunately, he's injury prone and can't be trusted. So it doesn't matter. And you can turn to your fan base and say, yeah, no, we've got an established quarterback, but man, we got a guy that we think we can develop him into a starter. And if something happens to Joe Burrow, this young man, well, there'll be no drop off. He'll be a guy that can keep the ship afloat for us. So even if I have Joe Burrow, I can draft Kyle McCord in the second and third rounds because it's a smart luxury. If you have Tua, it's actually a very smart move because it's not a luxury in your case like it is with the Bengals. It is a necessity for you for the Miami Dolphins because you have a player that you cannot trust anymore. And then if you don't have a quarterback, well, then, of course, it's worth drafting any quarterback, including Kyle McCord. So, interesting. I find Kyle a guy that anybody can make an argument for it, and your fan base can't say jack shit about it. Yeah, no, this makes sense. Yeah, no, intelligent guy. Yeah, no, good arm. Accuracy is there. Yeah, no, all the tools are there, man. Yeah, you can't have enough of those guys. And most people don't even have a number two, which we don't. Down here, do you consider Zach Wilson like a guy that's going to bail you out? No. There's no Dolphin that really feels that, unless you want to lie to yourself. I mean, if you want to be the fan that lies to himself and says every year this is our year, then you go ahead and do that. Yeah, that's fine. So, anyway. Jimmy G's contract is cheap. Jimmy G didn't want to come here. Why would he want to come here? Yeah. Doesn't make any sense for him. It's better where he was at. This place is a mess right now. You're on the hot seat. He doesn't want to have to move again and all that. Continuity was more important for him. He's made plenty of money anyways. You know? He's doing good. Jimmy made the move that was best for him. I called dibs on the first floating ice chunk in Greenland when it becomes a state. I like it. Just keep it floating up north so you can stay for a while. You don't want it to go too south. There's this big sheet of ice that's like size of a city and shit. That's like it broke off from the Antarctic, and it's just floating out there, and it's just like this ginormous piece of ice, dude. It's like Manhattan floating out in the ocean, you know? It's freaking crazy. I forgot the name of they have a number for it. It's not even a name or something. I forgot it. I don't know. You can look up the story yourself or something, but it's a funky story that you're like, holy shit, really? And that thing is ginormous, bro. So, what can I tell you, man? All right, folks, we are wrapping it up here. We thank the great Sean Stanley. We thank, of course, the man, the myth, the legend is back there, Larry Schlossberg. And we appreciate him as always. We thank all of you that tuned in. If you send in a super chat, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, thank you. And, of course, you can help us go to Spain. We want to go to Spain in a bad way to cover the Dolphins game against the aforementioned Bengals. Reportedly, it is the Dolphins-Bengals in Spain. I don't know. It hasn't been officially announced, but the mayor in Madrid let the cat out of the bag, supposedly accidentally. So if it's Dolphins and Bengals, it's going to be a fun one. There's the QR code. Whatever donation you can make, man, we'd appreciate it immensely. Right now, it doesn't look like we're going. But if you can help us, we'd appreciate it immensely. We shall see you on Monday morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.